Hey, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to make this video to showcase what my EDC is, and this is a Polymer80 PF940C. So a lot of people that are into the gun world obviously know what the Polymer80 is, and unfortunately, Polymer80 went out of business due to them settling in court when the Biden administration sued them. Because of that, the Polymer80 frames are quite hard to find now. The 76% frames you can still find, but obviously they have the bridge thing for the trigger. It's quite annoying to build, and a lot of them don't function quite well. But I was able to get my hands on a Polymer80 frame not too long ago, and I've actually done a couple of the builds when Polymer80 was in business. But you might be wondering, one, what's my P80 build? And second, why do I carry it? So let's get into that. So this right here is my Polymer80. It's the PF940C frame, which is modeled after the Glock 19 with a Palmetto State Armory slide. If you'll notice, the front sight's missing. I have a new one on the way. I'm sorry, on the way. Paired with a HoloSun HS407CO-X2, as well as a TLR7X little front flashlight there. And if you're curious, this is using some Rook tactical pins, as well as an OEM lower parts kit, and of course, like I said, the PSA dagger slide with a OEM Gen 3 recoil spring. And there's some reasons behind that. Long story short, when I shoot the lower grain ammo, that heavy dagger spring ends up causing some issues on the last round where it doesn't, lock all the way back. With the OEM spring of the Gen 3 one, I'm good to go. But you may ask, why do I carry a Polymer80 pistol rather than an OEM Glock 19? And the answer is quite simple. I'm a huge fan of the 80s for a few different reasons. The first one is obviously the grip. A huge complaint that people have with the traditional Glocks is the fact that the frame isn't that good to grip, and once your hands get quite sweaty, it can be a little bit annoying. And from the factory, these Polymer80s have a very good grip that's associated with them. Obviously, if you wanted, you could stipple your frame, but there's of course some implications with that. The first one is, depending on your stippling and who you go with, it might be so fucking rough that it's a pain in the ass to actually carry because it's scratching you the entire time. Second one is cost. It's going to cost some money. And the third one is you're permanently modifying your frame. So if you've never stippled a firearm yourself, or you've never handled or used one, it might not be best to go ahead and spend all of that money to do it by somebody or yourself on a gun that you've already spent hundreds of dollars on. This is very comfortable and it's quite nice. The second one is the fact that I built it. Similar to somebody that wrenches on a vehicle quite often, they feel a connection to it. I know that this gun is extremely reliable. Obviously, an OEM Glock is, but I feel a connection to it as I was the person that built it, and I love it to death. The next one is how it shoots. Given the fact that it's a Gen 3 Glock 19 clone, it shoots like a Glock. It has a Glock trigger, which a lot of people have complaints about, but it shoots pretty fucking good for what it is. It's very easy to conceal as well. Even with this optic on here, obviously I don't have a mag well or anything, so it's not too hard, but it shoots very, very good for what it is. The size, with it being a 19, isn't too big as well. I have a full-size Glock 45 that's completely pimped out with a compensator, mag well, and some other goodies, a TLR1. It is so fucking heavy and so big, it's not a gun that I would like to carry. This is very, very easy to conceal. And I also have a Glock 48 as well that I rotate in my carry depending on my clothes. But this is very, very good to carry. And you might be asking, when I built this, did I have any malfunctions? And the answer is yes. So when you first build these P80s, obviously it's a lot of testing. And with my initial testing in the beginning, I had a couple of issues, which the first one I just, replaced the recoil spring and I was good to go. The second was I just had to break it in. I had to shoot a couple hundred rounds to get the actual rails, smooth and get it broken in. Other than that, I've been good to go. But as you can see here, it's super, super clean. It honestly looks like an OEM Glock in all eyes, and yeah, I'm good to go. And the next thing is, do I worry about carrying a 80% gun? And for me, no. The reason for this is, obviously I'm accepting the risk of doing so, of getting an uninformed cop, but given the fact that I am in the state of Florida and the laws are written the way that they are, I'm not too worried about it, right? Another question that people might have is for this Polymer80, holster compatibility. It's a pain in the ass to find holsters for this gun if you don't look in the right places. But I actually have a holster by Knight's Armament, which I will display to you now. So this is the holster that I actually use on my belt. Obviously it's on the belt now, but it's a very, very good holster. The retention is very, very good. And it conceals quite well. It has a little bit of a claw right there. I carry appendix, but I put it at like the 2 to 3 o'clock position, and super, super good. Knights Armament shipped this out to me pretty quickly when I ordered it, and I've had absolutely no complaints. Lastly, a lot of people might have questions about, I want to build a P80. Obviously, I'm not going to go in here and tell you exactly where to source your frames, but I will tell you that a lot of them are actually scams. A lot of them are honeypots, and a lot of these are not in circulation now, given the fact that Polymer80 has shut down manufacturing as a whole. However, there is kind of a replacement of Polymer80 called, it's Geisler Defense. They do make a 19X style pistol. They have V2 frames that are decent, but in my opinion, they are not as good quality as compared to the Polymer80. Still easy to build, still reliable, but I'm not a huge fan of them, in all honesty. But yeah, that's it for my first video. Quite simple, to the point. I'll definitely do some future gun reviews soon. But yeah, that's my genuine opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards. Thank you.